Now who wanna move close enough? Now who wanna move out? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock them. There we go.
Welcome to Bengals and Brews. I am Del Altman, joined by Big Savage Greg Luther, Chris Porkchop Mertens, and Jamal himself, Mr. Geoff Hobson, longtime Bengals beat reporter, writer. He does it all there with Cincinnati at Bengals.com. So nice to see you, Mr. Hobson. How you doing today?
Please call me Jeff. It's good to see everybody today.
Good to see you too.
We're in a good mood because we were talking before the show how your Red Sox got the best of the Reds 2-1, man. I mean, like I said before the show, I jinxed the Reds. I'm sorry, Reds fans.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's a fact.
I'm sorry.
It's
did you get?
They've been hot, but the Red Sox have been. They've been hot though. I think this is the fourth straight series they've won. They came in. They had beaten the Phillies and the Yankees and the Jays, which was, a pretty good work. I mean, they haven't beaten Toronto for forever, so three pretty good. So they had a pretty good launcher pad coming in.
Did you get a chance to go down and catch a game at all?
I did. I saw the Saturday game, which was a good ball game. Ellie is really fun to watch. I think he had 3 hits that day, and of course, he was the winning run, with 2 out in the ninth. So it was really, a great show. Little hot. Not
Yeah,
bad.
right.
Yeah.
It's been brutal. But yeah, your squad got the win. The Reds not so much. Last time we had you on, we'll switch over to Bengals. Last time we had you on was right before free agency, so we were just kind of talking what we thought could happen, things like that. Free agency, the draft's all passed, so we'll try to touch on all those things. One of the bigger signings, at least money-wise, was Sheldon Rankins at defensive tackle. How do you see him fitting in with this defensive line, and what do you think he'll provide? He's known more as a pass rusher, but I think he's underrated, stopping the run as well.
Yeah, he's been on teams that have stopped the run, and I think they see him as a 3-down guy. I think they see stopping the run. I think they don't have DJ Reader, so I think they see that now as more of a by committee. Rankins can certainly do both. I mean, he's a solid 9-year guy, which I think was a really, that might end up he and Von Bell. I think in December you're going to look back and say, those were 2 pretty fortuitous moves. But I think looking at the Rankins signing, you just look at that in the totality what they invested in the defensive line in this decade is, they have not ignored the trenches. The defensive line is a prime example where they started the decade. They made DJ Reader their highest paid free agent, and then the next year that was topped by Trey Hendrickson on the edge, and since then they've a 2nd-round pick this year in Chris Jenkins, a 3rd-round pick this year in McKinley Jackson. So I think they see Rankins as just kind of another step in the wall, and Rankins is another one of these guys, one of these veterans who's all the guys they signed come from playoff teams that have been in the playoffs, and Rankins is a guy that's, he's been on some good teams, and he's been a reason why.
Jeff, last year I wanted Mike Gesicki so badly. When I found out he only signed for like $3 million with the Patriots, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So this year we finally get Mike Gesicki, got him for I think it was like $2 million or something. How much do you see Mike Gesicki contributing this year? Well, the only year he signed.
Yeah, I think he's a big, I think he's going to be a big factor. I think he's the most prolific tight end they've had since the days of Jermaine Gresham, which I thought was a very underrated player. But that goes back a dozen years now. But Gesicki's the guy that he's had 3 seasons of at least 50 catches. Mm-hmm. And, him and Burrow, I think, it's just it's a natural combination. Burrow is going to be a guy that he looks to. And I think Gesicki I think he'll be in the line of Uzama and Hurst, a guy that was really, 2 guys who really had some big games, key moments, and I think Gesicki's going to be the same thing.
So, sticking to the free agency to wrap up free agency, Von Bell coming back. What do you think with the position battle between Von Bell and Jordan Battle? How's that going to play out?
Well, I think they got Bell back for one reason. I think to solidify things back there. I mean, as we all know, they were the victim of the big play. And so Lou Anarumo, the defensive coordinator, has been emphasizing communication all off season. And he went out and got the best communicator there is when it comes to Anarumo's defense. Nobody knows that defense like Bell.
That's right. Yeah.
And I think that Battle will be, Battle, I think, will be a guy that's, he's an heir apparent, obviously. He'll be learning, he'll be, Bell's one of his, they call Bell a lot of things. One of them is Coach Vaughn.
Mm.
And so I think, Battle gets one of the best mentors they're in that system. I mean, I think I don't know how, I talked to Jordan Kovacs, the safeties coach, and he said who knows how that's going to play out, Bell and Battle, but clearly it's, I think Bell is viewed as a guy that like I said, is going to settle down the back of that defense, and he's going to be that guy that Battle and Dax Hill and those guys didn't have last year, a veteran back there, well schemed in the defense.
I think that could help the linebackers too, because
Yeah.
it seemed like that was a bigger role for the linebackers, Wilson and Pratt last year, and wasn't their best year, I would say. But you get a Von Bell back and take a little off their plate, and along with hopefully an improved D line with the rotation, I could definitely see the linebackers improving as well. Could you see that?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's affected by everybody else. I mean, it's it goes downhill. Everybody's impacted by everybody else, even though they're playing different positions. So I think, this is a situational game. So, if you can get into third and long, you're helping everybody.
Absolutely.
I mean, a big thing was I thought they didn't stop they weren't as good as they have been against the run. So I think that's something they're going that they're emphasizing this year too. I mean, you got to give, it's hard to be it's hard to be back there in 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3 too, So I think that's a big emphasis, because when they were going to the AFC Championship game in 2021 and 2022, they were very stingy against the run, and their numbers weren't very good, in both giving up yards per game and yards per rush. So that's where I think, everything goes hand in hand. Hence why they drafted the way they did on the defensive line.
Hey, Geoff, Dax Hill moving to outside corner, and I've heard he's doing really well. Him and DJ Turner are going to be battling it out. I still think they need to go sign another corner. Do you think that will happen, or do you think they're very confident with Dax and DJ Turner?
I think they're pretty good there. I mean, you get like Charles Burke said at the when Dax moved from safety to corner, he says, I feel like I'm getting a first-round cornerback. So you've got a guy, you've got Taylor Britt, and you've got, just looking at the people on the outside, you've got Dax Hill and Taylor Britt and DJ Turner. That's 2 second-round picks. That's a first-rounder. They drafted Josh Newton in the 5th round, a guy they're really high on. You got Mike Hilton in the slot. I think they're pretty good. I don't think they have to go get anybody, really. I mean, DJ Ivey, I think, is probably going to end up on PUP. But at some point, he's going to be coming back, and I know they're really high on him, the 7th rounder from last year out of Miami. So, I think they're okay there.
That's what I was going to say. Like, everybody's focused on Hill and Turner at that corner position, but do you think that Josh Newton could be a threat to that also?
I mean, I think, I think they're really high on him. I mean, I think, and I think the way they look at it, they don't look at it as 2 and 3 guys. They look at it as 4 or 5 guys. They're going to all have to play at some point. They're all going to be called on. I think that, they're not looking at it as status and the like. I think they're looking at it as they're looking at it on who can help them on 3rd down. And I think Newton's a guy that I think Newton is the guy they think they can come in and help him. He's not going to be starting, but I mean, he's a guy they feel like, I think he can play both inside and outside, and obviously he's learning. But I think he's a good. He's going to play some. He'll obviously play on special teams. So, I think that's a pretty good 4th corner.
Yeah. I agree. The first guy they went out and signed was Geno Stone. They brought him in from Baltimore. I think he had 8 interceptions last season for those guys. What do you think about that signing for the Bengals? We kind of already mentioned Battle and Bell, and they'll, will it be more of a rotation with all those guys? And thoughts on Geno Stone?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look back at their needs, right? When you look back they apparently felt like they thought Dax was going to. Apparently, they thought Dax was going to be better at corner after playing him at safety, and I thought he played pretty well at safety. I really
he
did.
had over 100 tackles. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, he had one of the most productive. He was one of the most productive safeties in the league. So, but they obviously wanted. They felt like that they wanted to that they had to improve back there. I think they have more of a I think it's more of what they think Dax can do best, and I think they see him there as kind of a those corner. He's got those skills that an elite corner has, and he flashed them, particularly in his rookie year when he played a lot of nickel. But I think with Stone on the market, I think they felt like they were getting a young player who is ascending. I think which is the kind of guy they want to get in free agency. They're not looking for the 30, 31, 33-year-old guy. Now, their rankings does fall in there, and Trent Brown falls in there, but the majority of their guys and the guys who have helped them down through the years, who have really helped them down through the years, have been those ascending second contract players, the Hiltons, the Hendricksons, the Chidobe Awuzies, and I think they feel like Stone fits in that category. He's a free safety. He's a smart guy. He can get guys lined up. He's a good communicator. And that's what we were talking about before was communication. So I think between, with Stone and Bell back there, I think they feel like they've got – and remember, Geno hasn't played a whole hell of a lot. Last year was really the first year he played a lot, was a regular. And he had 7 picks, led the league in interceptions, the AFC in interceptions. So, I think his skill set, I think, matches what they needed.
Geoff, so the day before the draft, my phone goes off and Trey Hendrickson's asking for a trade. I'm like, oh, no, here we go. But then a month later goes by. I think we all knew he was going to come back eventually, but all of a sudden he's at voluntary workouts. What was that whole situation like with Trey Hendrickson?
Well, I think he wanted to make it known that he's, that he's one of the best players in the league at his position, of which the Bengals already know that.
Yeah.
But to me, when he came back, shows you really what he's thinking. I mean, he knows that if he's going to do well, his team has to do well, and that he is a big factor in this team. He mentioned that when he came back in. He goes, I've got to make, I come in, and that means I'm making Joseph Osai, and I'm making Logan Wilson, and I'm making Jermaine Pratt better because I'm out there. So I think it was a type of thing where Trey wanted to make it known, and I think he just wanted to get it off his chest. He made it known. I think like he said when he came back that he has good relationships with the front office, and they talked about what had to be talked about. He came back, and Trey's a pro. He's a pro through and through. He's a big reason why they've been so successful in these 3 years he's been with the team.
Let me ask you this, as long as we're talking about holdouts, like most people say they're surprised that T came back when he did, thought he was going to hold out longer, thought he was going to be like Jesse Bates. My personal feeling, I didn't think he'd hold out, but then when he held out for that mandatory mini camp, just 1 week, I felt like he's just making a statement, like that was his plan all along, to hold out for that week. And then Jamar, maybe it was in support that he didn't go out there and practice like he normally would. What's your feelings on the timing where T signed his franchise tag?
Well, I think these two guys we've seen them play the last 3 or 4 years. We know what they're about. They're T's the biggest. If you look back, and he's if not one of the best big game receivers they've had. He is the biggest big game receiver they've had. And, Jamar's a 3-time Pro Bowler. So, they didn't get there by, not practicing or so right. I think that, these are who they are. These guys are ready to, they they know it's a business. We all know it's a business, but it's also there's the business of getting ready for the season, and these guys are two of the more focused guys you'll see. And it's a big part of their success. And I think, and I'm not saying anything less about Jesse Bates either. I mean,
Right.
I think also too is it may be the difference between somebody asked me the difference between Bates and T. Higgins, and I'm not. I don't know. Maybe it's defense and offense.
Yeah.
I mean, T knows that an offense has to be together to be ready for going into opening day. So he knows that if he's going to have a big year, his team has to have a big year, and he and the quarterback have to be linked up. So I'm not sure. We'll find out when T decides to talk. We'll find out why, but. There was never any doubt in my mind that he'd be ready to go when he answers the
Well,
bell.
I mean, he just got that jellyfish aquarium set up. He doesn't want to move that thing yet.
No, well, I mean,
It's a lot of work.
That's still, they planned this season. I mean, it's not going to be surprising. Both guys are going to be there, really. I mean, they've done this. I mean, we've seen that, there's this off-season jockeying every year about contracts and stuff, but there was never a doubt that those two guys are going to be out there, and that like Dan Pitcher, I was talking to Dan Pitcher last week at the end of the mandatory minicamp, and who that we're going to be who we are, and what we are, he says, is we got a great quarterback and two number one receivers, and that's what they are.
Three.
That's what they have been.
I think we got 3 number one receivers this year.
Well, we'll see. I guess
somebody else in the chat was asking earlier about your thoughts on Burton.
Yeah, I think Burton's Burton's going to be fine. I think, but he's a rookie, so I don't know what I think we have to you have to temper your expectations. Now, here's a guy that's played 50 games in the SEC and he averaged more than 18 yards per catch. Okay, you don't have to sell me any more on the guy. Mm-hmm. And then you just take the fact that TJ Houshmandzadeh worked with him and recommends him highly. So, I they've got a good player there. But, don't expect him to be, Chase or Higgins right out of the box, or maybe even TJ Houshmandzadeh. So, I'm just, I think, you have to temper it. But, yeah, I think he's, I think he was a guy they looked at too. They researched at him for a while, and I think they, the coaches are very high in this guy.
Seemed like Zach Taylor's favorite pick, the way he went off when that phone call happened.
Well, I mean, he, like I said, the guy's got the pedigree. Like the SEC is almost like a AAA for the AFC North.
Yep.
I mean, you come out of there. You come out of the SEC with numbers like that, that's hitting. That's pretty close to hitting major league pitching, And I think for what the Bengals do, Burton is their kind of guy because he looks like he can do a multiple. Looks like he can do a variety of things. The big thing is he can run, and I like what Pitcher said about his hands. He called them violent.
Right.
He can really go get it. Really sure-fingered. So. Yeah, I think they're really encouraged. They liked what they had when they drafted him, but I think, after seeing him and working with him, they're really encouraged.
And then they also brought in Trent Brown for right tackle, probably to be the starter, but then they kind of doubled up there with Marius Mims in the first round. What are your thoughts on those guys? Do you think Mims more comes in as like a goal line blocker, as more learning? Maybe if there's an injury, then he comes in. Some people have seen them even Brown taking some snaps at guard. Do you see any way where both of those guys start? Is it more likely Mims is your swing tackle to start the season?
Yeah, I don't think either, Dale. I don't think either of them are playing guard. They're tackles, and I think that you might see maybe in a goal line situation or a short yardage, maybe they're on the field together. But I can't, I wouldn't say anything beyond that. But I think, Dale, you kind of hit it on the head. Brown is the guy, and then you have the luxury of, you don't have to put Mims in there right away.
Right.
You can gradually work them in. Like, for instance, in those situations you want to go with an extra tackle, it's perfect for him. You don't have to rush him, yet he can get some snaps in there. He's learning from a guy who's, he's been one of the more solid pass protectors in the league in the last decade, Trent Brown. And he's a big guy. He can, I think that's another thing is that everybody's, Bengals have the three biggest tackles maybe of, certainly in the last 12 years, right?
Yeah.
So I think that the fact that those two big guys are not only there to help him breaking into, but, that they can help him as a big man in the league, So I think it's a fortuitous pick. I think it's fortuitous for Mims that he's able to have those two guys to look behind. But, I don't think they're looking to rush him. I think they think big things about the guy. They're expecting big things about him, but I don't think they have to rush him either, which is good for him.
So Jeff, we doubled up on DT in the draft with Jenkins and McKinley Jackson. I was getting nervous because the start of the second round, DTs were going one by one, and Jenkins was like the last one that was there. And I was very high on Jenkins. And McKinley Jackson, I think we reached for him just a tad bit, but I understood why. My take is, how much do you see both of them contributing this year?
Well, I think they're going to play a lot. They have to. I think that certainly, they're high on Jenkins and but they're also high on Jackson too, who was very productive in college. They're going to play. They're going to be part of a rotation. I don't think they're not going to be. They're not starters or not. I don't. There's two starters. There's Hill and Rankins. And then it's a rotation. They're going to break these guys in. They're going to play a lot though. I think they'll play a lot. I think what's interesting is that Jenkins is coming from a defense at Michigan where, pretty, was the type of thing. It wasn't a great numbers defense where you're going to get a lot of numbers. The style they played. Right. I think he'll be a little bit more active in this one. I think this defense is. I think you'll see him get more numbers just because of the way it's designed. And but they're going to play plenty, both of them. But they're not going to be, Marion Hobby is always trying to split these guys, and giving them breaks and stuff. So, but I think they're going to be right there with Zach. Certainly Zach Kyer's going to get his snaps too. So it's going to be an interesting training camp. But when you pick guys in the second or third round, they're going to play.
And then I noticed the Ken Riley hat as well. Our buddy Tyler here says, "Love the hat." So that kind of can lead us into, what are your thoughts on maybe the two guys you think will get in? I know we've got so many all deserving candidates on there. Who do you think might be the two candidates that we see? It's usually about less than a month from now that they make that final announcement.
Well, I wear this hat to remind myself not only that how great Kenny Riley was, but also there's work to be done, and there's other hats to be made. I hope, at this time next year, I hope I'm wearing a Willie Anderson hat or a Ken Anderson hat. Mm-hmm. I certainly hope there's an Anderson hat that I'm wearing. Both of them should be in. Ken and
same
Willie.
time next year.
Yeah, the senior voting has been moved back to the fall now. Dale, you're right. That was usually they'd be making the announcement here for the finalists in July, but that's going to be more in October now. So Kenny was one of the 6 finalists in the senior committee, and if you're one of the 3, you got a good shot at getting in. So hopefully he can get out over that hump. And Willie was real close last year, I believe. I think he was. We get into the top 10, and we're hoping that continues. But those are the 2 guys I think with the best shot. But that doesn't mean there's obviously there's a bunch of other guys that are who played here that are Hall of Fame worthy.
Yeah.
Speaking of the ring, who do you think gets in the? What's your feelings on the Ring of Honor this year?
Could go anyway. It could go anywhere. I thought. The guys who are in there, probably ought to have been in there. If you're going to pick pick the first 8, that'd be pretty close.
Yeah,
right? That'd be pretty close. But now I think it's you get a lot of guys that could go in there. It's I think your guess is as good as mine, probably. I know whoever gets it is going to deserve it.
Yeah, I agree. Right. Everybody on that ballot deserves it still. So that's the good thing about it. Anybody that gets in is more than deserving.
There's everybody for each generation. Take your pick.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Do you think that we'll see more guys play in the preseason. I don't necessarily think
Mm-hmm.
maybe Burrow or the receivers, but specifically like the offensive line. Could you see them getting a couple series this year in the preseason compared to where they really haven't?
It's a great question, because that is that's a big thing, coming out of the gate, Now, what's the reason they didn't get out of the gate quick? Is it because that the starters didn't play, or is it because Burrow was hurt?
Right. Yeah.
Either coming off the appendectomy or the strained calf, right? So you can't jump to conclusions. You got to take everything into it. And I really think Zach does a great job taking care of his club and knowing what his team needs.
Yeah.
He knows when to pull the strings and when not to pull them. And so I think the fact that they've got two in the squad scrimmages, right? They're going to do the Bears and do the Colts, I guess. So it's they're going to have two. So I think that will be, that's got to factor into it too. You might not have to. They're certainly not going to play in the last preseason game, right? And but you're going to have a couple of vigorous practices. So I don't know. I think and I think each year is different, and I think Zach will judge it. Will judge it that way. But there's no question that there is an emphasis on getting out of the gate. I mean, Teddy Karras talked about it, last week about how let's get out quick.
Yeah.
0-2 the last 2 years. They did it the hard way. They won 10 straight the one time, and the other time they almost get in with their backup quarterback leading them, and that shows you, I think, how good their entire roster is, erasing the 0-2 start and coming over adversity. So just imagine if you do what they did in 21. I think they get out to 3-1, right? Did they get out? I think they get out of the gate 3-1. I think, which is got to win the opener. Got to win the opener. Let's start with New England. Probably a rookie quarterback, right, and a rookie head coach. So at home, good way to start.
Yeah, 3 of their first 4 games are against teams that would have finished the top 3 in draft order. Obviously, the Panthers didn't have a pick, but
right. And I don't know, and maybe Brissett will get the start, in the opener. So, who knows? But I mean, it's I think that the early part of the schedule favors them to get out to that fast start, and let's see if they can take advantage of it.
Yeah. Hey, so Geoff, the running backs, I'm happy with the running backs we have. Chase Brown and Zach Moss, 2 good additions. Who do you think? Do you think we will still go after a running back? Because a lot of running backs can get cut before the season starts. Do you think we'll try to add one more running back, or do you think they're happy with Travion Williams as their 3rd running back?
No, Kane. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're happy. I think they're happy with him. I think also too, you got to throw in the other thing about that is it's like the new kickoff rule. Now, I don't know. You don't obviously you're not going to shape your entire roster because of one aspect of the game, the kick return. But you do have to take a look at that. He's been a very competent kick returner for them, and you're going to need 2 of them.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, sure. I mean, if somebody's there, who they think is better than what they've got, you'd think they would jump on that. But I do think they like their depth there. Their experience there. All Chris Evans and Travion know the system, and have both played a lot for Darren Simmons on special teams. So I think at the moment I was talking to somebody, about this roster, except maybe other than linebacker, maybe, you go to, they got one extra guy, really. If you think when you look at it at all through the spots, you've got like an extra guy could be on the 53.
Yeah.
You've got like 50, you got like 60 guys.
Yeah.
That could play. That's a tough cut at the end of the year. So
yeah.
I think depth wise, I think like they were last year. They're in pretty good shape, and I think they were proven to be when they contended so deep with Browning. So I think for most of the spots, like you were asking about corner and running back, I think they like where they are.
Cool. I want to get one quick one about tight ends. Do you think Eric All will start on PUP? Because speaking of deep rooms, that one's got 5 guys that could be on an NFL roster.
Yeah. That's probably not a bad assumption. He's coming off a guy they're very high on is coming off an ACL. So I would think that would probably That would seem to be trending to be a pup. But yeah, they've got the three guys. They really like the top three. Sample and Tanner Hudson and Gesicki. They like the draft pick. They like the draft pick. McLaughlin. McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Is they like his potential. So, but I would think, there's a numbers game there. There really is a numbers game. It's going to be, and again, I think that gets back to the nice job they've done with their roster.
All right, Mr. Hobson. Well, we know you had to get out of here at 4. It's 4:00. We thank you so much for your time.
You guys have been very kind to have me on. Thank you very much.
Hey,
Let's do it again
thank
soon.
you so much.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who day?
Thanks, fellas.
Man, that interview could have went 3-4 hours.
Easily.
Yeah. Man.
All right. That's all we
Always.
got.
That's
Always
it.
awesome. No, it's
I
always
know.
awesome.
And I know some people in the chat had several questions, but it was just
Yeah,
it's
we
hard
only
to get
had a
to
half
too many
hour.
of them. He said he had to be out of here by 4, so I was really trying
Right.
to get as much
Apologize
in as
for-
we could.
Apologize for anybody that didn't get their question answered.
And I tried to see some of them and work them in.
But
you know,
Matt
with
says it
some of
was
the
a good
stuff I
interview,
had
so
to.
fuck y'all.
Well, thank you.
If the CEO liked it, that's all that matters.
That's right. Appreciate that, Matt.
We love
The rest
you.
of you guys got anything bad to say, fuck off. No. Oh, man.
Well, do you want to talk about manscaping again,
Oh,
or
my
that's
God.
just when Derek comes on? That you
Well, when
guys-
Derek comes
I
on,
go
to talk
outside for
about
30
manscaping,
seconds and I come back in, and you guys are
I would
talking
say
about
that,
that Friday.
yes.
But yeah, so to Reds
Oh,
fans,
here he is.
there he is.
You say manscaping and he pops in.
Yeah, it's
You
new,
got
that's
it.
a new nickname.
Tell us about
Manscaped.
your ball care, Derek.
What ball hair?
Ball
See,
care.
there you-
I'm just saying, one
Oh.
of the Brew Crew, and
He
I
just
won't
told you. He
I
shaves
won't
that.
Okay, man.
and
Brew,
it's-
Brew Crew member, but one Brew Crew member DM'd me about ball care. About
You gotta
my
get it right,
particular
get it
ball
tight.
care and maybe some cream you
Get
can
it
use.
right,
You
get it
use cream
tight.
on your balls to keep them dry during the day. You work in a shop
got-
where it might get hot. I work in the air conditioning.
I got what you call the crop preserver and the crop reviver.
These
Crop-
are real things.
Preserver and crop divider.
Reviver.
Reviver.
Brings it back to
Yeah,
life.
so you
Brings
got
it
some-
up.
You got
All
some
right.
aftershave for them. You got some deodorant for them.
Oh, you've got all these things?
Oh yeah.
Man, this
The
guy keeps
armpits
his
are
balls
the only
smelling
thing that
nice.
stinks, you know.
Do you buy
Nice.
that or does Sarah buy that for you?
No, I bought it.
Oh, I was gonna say if Sarah's putting that much effort into your fucking penis, then you're a lucky man. But I see you're putting that effort into your penis.
Yeah, maybe we need a Bengals
Yeah.
and Brews brand ball spray.
We do, and let me see if I can get that in my shop.
I agree with Dustin here. You know, it's just going to be crazy when Lapham and Hobson eventually retire because
Oh, I know.
they've been around for
Right?
ever. it seems
Speaking of
like.
Lapham, happy birthday, Dave Lapham.
Oh, I thought
Yeah,
you were gonna
happy
announce how
birthday.
he's gonna be on the show at the end of the week or something.
Oh, yeah.
The
Come
way
on,
Greg's
Greg.
been going, who knows?
You never know, man. I'm reaching down in my hat right now. I think I got to hold of something. We'll see.
Reaching in your pants and you think you got a hold of something.
Maybe a former offensive tackle. gets back
Hey,
with us.
we don't know.
What?
We don't know. Don't jinx me,
That
Dave.
advice
Look,
keeps-
I jinxed the Reds still. We don't need any more jinxing. For those of you, I was bragging to
Right.
Board Shop, hey, we could give Geoff Hobson a lot of crap if we sweep the Red Sox.
Yeah, right.
Right after I said that, we lost 2 in a row. Thanks a lot, Greg.
Yeah, Greg, you dumbass.
Yep.
It's,
Greg
it's
fucked
all
us.
Greg's fault.
It's all my fault. I literally
just-
said,
Hey,
I
man,
literally
as long
said
as
that.
we're talking about the Reds, I'm just hoping that Castellini sees that how he got asses in the seat. I hope people are buying fucking hot dogs and peanuts and Cracker Jacks and making that man some money so he can see that if he puts an exciting product out there, people will come and watch it and he can make some money. I
Yeah,
doubt
but
it.
they're losing. They're still losing right now.
Yeah.
People are still packing the seats, though, man.
They are.
Well,
People love this team. They still go.
Well, you know why they're going?
Or they bought their tickets a long time ago when the
thinking we'd be
when there
good.
was a
Yeah.
good outlook.
But you know what real reason why they're going Pork Chop? 50 West Beer Burger Bar, proud sponsor of the show, served at Great American Ballpark. That is the main reason why people go to get 50 West Beer Burger Bar.
That's true.
And if you're watching the game at home, you can stop at Midwest Best Barbecue, who had ribs over the weekend, who, by the way, just won Best Wings of Cincinnati. And it's not just for 8 weeks. You can also
2
Chug it.
shots.
Yeah.
He's gonna chug the whole thing.
See, he's feeling like he can drink it now because they done told him on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it that they got another bottle coming his way.
Oh, that's right, they do. So yeah,
Okay.
so there we go. So there we go. Proud sponsors of the show. Love you both.
He may be biased toward one of you. He may love one of you a little more.
No,
It's
that's
like
not
you say,
true.
do you have a favorite kid? It's like Greg's got 2
No,
kids.
man, no.
It's like
I'm a
I'm
burger-
going to
I
tell
got-
you the political answer and say,
But you
I
know
love
what,
them
Dale?
both.
Dale,
equally.
you just started some shit with me right now. You know what I'm going to do one day?
But I know
I'm gonna-
I know in your heart you really like that one kid better than the other kid.
No, you know what I'm going to do to prove to you I'm right? I'm going to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 50 West Burger Beer, get a burger, fries, and some fry sauce. Then I'm going to go to Midwest Best Barbecue, get some mac and cheese, get some pulled pork. I'm going to combine it in with the barbecue sauce on one big sandwich. We'll call it the Savwich, and I'm going to eat it in front of all of you, dipping it in my fry sauce.
Greg,
Hold on,
why
did
don't you
you-
go to Midwest Best Barbecue and get some naked chicken wings and then shake them up in that fry sauce and then make a fry sauce chicken wing?
Whatever you guys want me to do it, but I will combine 50 West Burger and Midwest Best Barbecue some way, and to prove to you I love them both equally.
You don't
I'm
love
not
them
gonna
both.
lie.
You
That
went
sounds pretty damn good.
You went to eat at one of them this weekend again, right?
Right.
Which one was that?
A no-brainer.
I didn't. Well, no, all I had was La Rosa's and Chipotle over the weekend.
That's
You
true.
didn't have
Like,
Midwest? Wow.
I had it last weekend.
when's the last time you had 50 West?
Uh-oh, silence.
Oh God!
No. It's just
Busted.
the parking's bad at 50 West.
Oh,
Sometimes.
the parking's bad.
No, I need to go back to 50 West get a burger sometime. You're right. I love them both though. They're both
Talked right into that. You're welcome, 50 West, for the business.
Yeah.
No, I still drink their beer. Hey, I have their lemonade beer in my
When you go
fridge
down
right
there, the
now.
Parking's
Well,
horrible.
why don't you drink one of them and prove how much you love them?
You said it. I'll
What's the
do it.
camera for? Has he got a sneeze?
No, he's getting a lemonade beer.
He's
Apparently.
lemonade beer. They do got a big variety of different
I've
beers.
seen-
50 West.
I seen where they had a strawberry lemonade beer. Have you guys seen
That's
that?
what he's
That's
got
what
it in his
Greg-
hand.
Well, it's the pink
Oh, no,
lemonade.
they-
Close enough.
Oh, pink
Greg,
lemonade.
Or maybe,
Pink
yeah,
lemonade.
pink lemonade.
It's
Now,
really
That-
good.
that
You need your beer bong. You
looks pretty
need
darn
bong it.
good.
You should have shotgunned it like Jeff did.
What's that taste like, Greg?
Victory.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Refreshing.
Show that can off to the camera.
Yeah. Show your cans. How'd you like to
Look at
put them on
Look
your
at that
titties,
nice
Derek?
can.
Oh, man,
Hard.
nice and cold. Derek, man. Derek, your nipples will be colder than shit.
This year, 50 West Brewery is the preferred can for can titty guy.
Yes.
If he's going to go full can titty, you can bet your ass it's going to be.
And,
with
and you know what, 50
can.
West, this will be great with chicken wings and stuff. Hey, 50 West is sold at Midwest Best Barbecue. They even have the 50 West logo there.
Hey, don't they have a can that's also blue? Because
Yeah,
maybe
that's the Doom pedal.
people can hire Derek to do gender reveals with his can titties. He can either be shaking
Yeah.
the blue
Look
cans,
at you.
blue cans from 50 West, or the
Well,
pink
no.
cans from 50 West.
Well, no, Dale, you've had the Doom pedal before. Derek, you've had the Doom pedal before, haven't you?
I've had about every 50 West beer they make.
There you go. Anything else you want to challenge me with, Dale?
Not at the moment. Give me a few minutes. How about
Okay, good.
that?
Couple minutes past.
That won't get me arrested or anything.
You're Big Savage, Greg. They know
Anyway,
better.
Derek, go ahead and do your commercial for your lawnmower.
They're not a sponsor yet.
Well,
What?
they ain't gonna be sponsoring. We're not gonna get them to sponsor, but somebody was asking about the ball care, so I'm trying to help them out here live.
I'm telling you, it's some good stuff.
And I got questions about it too, man. So you're saying that this thing with no blade on it, you don't get cut?
Yeah, it's got like an aluminum blade and then a plastic blade, to where there's no nicks or nothing. It's pretty nice.
What about on the sack?
I haven't got cut yet.
Ooh, man, I don't know. How much is that thing?
For the whole care kit, it was like $140 or something like that.
Derek's rich.
Fuck that,
If
man.
you got $140 to take care of your fucking balls,
Man, I bet you got that little beard on his ball sack, same as he's got on his face, though.
you think he made it
Did you
into
give your balls? Did you give your nutsack a goatee, Derek?
I have not. I thought.
And
you know
that
what?
fucking
I might
sweet little
give it a little
handlebar
soul
mustache
patch.
above it.
I might give it a little soul patch.
There you go.
I see people getting excited. The Bengals pushed out some T. Higgins highlights.
Yeah.
I mean, they have been, right? Like,
Right.
I mean, what would you guys like to see a long-term contract get done with T?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, do you not think that wraps up too much money into like because Jamar's going to obviously get his?
Let me just say
know,
this
because it sounds like sounds like a lot of the GMs and a lot of the owners are pushing to make quarterback contracts separate from everything else. So I'm not saying that it'll happen, but if it does,
I mean,
how the hell could they do that? Like, you get a separate salary cap for quarterback.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know.
Mike Brown would hate that, by the way.
Mike Brown he'd be like, fuck it. I'm gonna go ahead and die now. This is bullshit.
He'd be like, I already gave Joe the money. Shit, I can't take it back.
What if the cap came out and it was lower than Joe? He'd be like, well, fuck Joe, I can't do anything about it. It's goddamn NFL, not me.
Yeah.
Give him a hot tour.
Yes, that's right. Spin on that thing. That's part of the negotiations from now on. Tour.
Yeah.
So yeah, Higgins, you guys think? Go ahead, sign him. $25 million a year, $28 million a year. What are you giving him?
Man, it depends because if you're giving Higgins 25, I just don't think you can give Jamar the 30. Especially, I mean, man,
you
got to pay everybody else.
I think Jamar's getting 30.
You know what everybody else says you pay them to? You got to pay us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta pay us.
You gotta pay us.
Yeah.
I would be okay with it if the Jamar contract was already done, or if they were working on them simultaneously and trying to figure it all out and trying to figure out how it all would fit under the cap.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it'd be nice to see a double extension, you know?
Yeah.
Both of them just done.
Well, I mean, when Joe Burrow signed his contract, he made a big thing about making provisions for everybody else. So maybe the three of them ought to just go into Mike Brown's office with the Blackburns, just sit down and hammer some shit out. Would I like to see T here? God, yes, because you're talking about for the next 4 years or 3 if T signs a 3-year deal if he signs a 3-year deal, that would cancel out the franchise tag this year. But still, you're looking at 3 or 4 years with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Jermaine Burton. I know, like Hobbs said, Burton is a rookie, but man, I'm telling you, I expect big things out of this guy. And that's based off what Hush said.
Yep.
So that's elite, man. And then if Eric All can stay healthy, man, he's going to be a great tight end.
Yes.
I just think, I don't know, man. I still have a hard time seeing the T thing happening. It's fun to speculate and talk about, but I just think they'll keep him for this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think they'll franchise him next year. I don't. I mean, I hope they do and try to trade him because I think you could get more than a 3rd-round pick. But I don't know. Just for some reason, I feel like they're going to have, like, T, we want you here. You're here. You're going to report at the start of camp. Let's try to win this Super Bowl, and then we'll let you test free agency.
I disagree with that. Here's why. Well, you don't want to. You want to trade him. You don't want to get anything empty-handed. Plus, I could see some team like the Browns trying to go get him, and that's the last thing you want to do is him going in someone in the division. So that's where I just disagree with that. I don't want to risk him.
I mean, it's not what I would do. It's just what I think will happen.
I think so. I
don't think it will happen. No, I really don't think it will.
I think we're going to get the ring this
year. I
hope
you're right.
They're going to say, thank you, T, for helping us get this ring. Now go out and get your bank. You know, go find you a team and make your pay. And if we win the Super Bowl this year, though, T's price went up.
But I'm just saying, we probably won't get much next year. Like, who was that? Who was the corner for the Chiefs? They traded the Titans. They got like a 4th-round pick. What was his name again?
Snead.
Snead. Everybody was shopping, but it just goes to show you. I mean, the longer you hold on to T, like next year, maybe that's what we get returned is like a 4th-round pick for T. But that would be better than nothing, and it wouldn't be.
Well, at that point, though, the Bengals might be thinking, well, we're not going to spend in free agency, and we'll get a 3rd-round comp pick. They used to do that a lot.
Also, what's this wide receiver class look like so far, Dale, for next year?
I mean, It's too early to really give a
Yeah.
definitive statement on it. I mean, there's always a lot of wide receivers, but my guess is they like Burton and are as hyped as Burton as they are,
Mhm.
that they think Burton could step in on the
Yep.
outside and be their number 2.
I think so.
That's just my guess on what they're probably thinking in their
This
head.
is deja vu with the safety position that they did
Yeah.
it with Dax Hill and Jesse Bates.
But Dale, my last name is Luther, and that guy Luther from Missouri, that's all I need to know. His name is Luther, and tell me about him. Is he?
Yeah, Luther Burden the third from Missouri. He's super explosive. He's not the biggest guy, but I mean he's electric, and I think he goes top 10. You know.
Okay, so we don't want to be picking there.
No.
Nope. If we're picking in the top 10 next year, man, it's defense, and you guys already know who I want.
And honestly, some of the better players are smaller, like Isaiah Bond and Evan Stewart. Those are some guys that are also, you know, probably top 5 to top 10 receivers for next year's class potentially. And they're definitely like smaller guys. So
right.
Mm-hmm.
You're not replacing T most likely. There's a guy named Tet Mitchell that's like 6'5", but he's probably also going top 10 from Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Chop wanted Brian Thomas so bad.
That's right. Brian Thomas is fast, man, but you know Burton's pretty quick too. So, like I said, man, I'm an LSU fan. Dale, you guys, and Derek, you guys are Ohio State fans. Greg, you're a Bearcat fan, but we're all Bengals fans on top of all them fuckers.
Yeah.
Like when you start playing for the Bengals, you could have been on the team I hated the most. You start playing for the Bengals, guess what? We just came buddies and we'll bump bags. I'm your best friend.
Yeah, like Denzel Ward was a great Buckeye. He plays for Cleveland. Fucking.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Yep. Right.
It's just that simple.
Are you the same way with Grant Delpit? Who's the safety for the Browns? Went to LSU. Grant Delpit. Is that his name?
Chop's been watching LSU for like 2 years, Greg.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I did kill me, though, every time.
He's a lifelong fan of 2 years.
Hey, when we had all those offensive coordinators on and they were both talking shit about Jeremy Hill fumbling that ball, that kind of hurt a little bit.
Oh, man, you can tell they're all – no, Dan Zampese, each and every one
I'm just saying, because he was LSU.
Right.
That was the problem. They could have had Carlos.
That was not the problem, Dale.
Carlos
I did want
Jeremy Hill.
I did want Jeremy Hill over Carlos Hyde. Now, I'm sorry to tell you, I was wanting Jeremy Hill over.
Jeremy Hill didn't
like win playoff games. That's your problem.
Jeremy Hill wasn't bad until he fumbled that goddamn ball, and then the insanity after that just was crazy.
What did you think Jeremy Hill deserved that suit? Remember, he's like in the parade celebrating. And look, he can't control that he got hurt, but he got hurt in the preseason. But he's acting like, "Oh, look at me! I won a Super Bowl. I got a Super Bowl ring." And
the shittiest part is Giovanni Bernard would have been in the game with that ball had he not been hurt and knocked out of the fucking game, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what sucks because Gio would have been in the key moment. And you know, Gio wouldn't have won, fumbled, two.
And you know who hit him?
He would have went down. He wouldn't.
Was that Mike Mitchell hit? Did Mike Mitchell hit him?
Yeah, I think so.
That motherfucker! I told you.
I thought
I saw that hit.
Well, no, remember,
that's a penalty.
Well, remember, no. Who was it? Tomlin.
That was Shazier.
Yeah, no. Tomlin, like they said, Gio wasn't defenseless when he clearly was defenseless, and then they challenged it, and it was a fumble. I was so ticked off.
Well, you had a coach pulling Reggie Nelson's hair on the sideline over on
Joey Porter running out the field.
You're not allowed to be on the field. That was a shit show, man. That one still sucks to talk back on.
Yeah,
but
fuck them.
We just need a Super Bowl, and then they could just take all the pain away. Because every time I start talking about that game, then I talk about Logan Wilson getting hosed in the Super Bowl, and it's like, pain.
But don't worry, guys, because this is our Destiny year.
Without love,
Tyler,
you can represent Destiny year by going to my shop and getting a Destiny year T-shirt. It's very nice. I followed your advice, and I stopped using the Gildan T-shirts and used that Bella Canva. So soft.
Is that Derek's advice?
That's it. Like you can use. Hey, that's right. It's real soft in case you need a quick cleanup. You never know what's going on.
What's the address for that website, Chop?
Chopshop513.myshopify.com. Go there. I just put up some new Cincy shirts. One of them's in the Bengal font with the stripes on it. And then I did the Red Sea Cincy. And then, I did a Jesus fish that says believe in it with Bengal stripes.
Yeah, I
was bored last night until House of Dragon came on.
Yeah, I got to watch that episode.
Dude,
But
it was
I-
a boring episode. It's a lot
you
of
guys can
logistics.
finish this out 10, 15 minutes, whatever you want to do. I'm going to head in the house because Marissa came home early, sick. She came home at like 11 o'clock today. So go see how she's doing and hang out with her. So love you
Joey
guys.
said hi.
Joey
See
said
you
hi.
guys
Love you,
again
brother.
on Friday.
Love you, bud.
Love you, bro.
And now it's us.
Now it's us.
Man, I was listening to the Growler, their Balls Don't Lie episode a little bit today,
Yeah.
and they started talking about freaking wagers and stuff, and they got me thinking. I'm not really a big fan of doing, like, what are they called, future bets, because you got to wait a long time before anything gets paid out. But
Yeah.
there was one of them on there they had. It was like it was for the Bengals to go undefeated, like, for the first half of the year or something. And I gotta say, if you really think that they're going to go in and beat Kansas City, the rest of the time, I almost would venture to say they could go undefeated this year. What do you guys think?
What's the odds on the undefeated season?
It was like, I think it was like plus 1,400 or something. Plus
Shit, man, you go throw
14,000 or-
$10 down
I don't
on
know
that,
what
you're
it was.
gonna just put $10 on it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only $10, or $25 or something. Like, god damn, what's that come out to be if you bet $25 on plus 14,000?
Yeah, it's a lot of money. And another one they were talking about was Burrow to win MVP. If you want to, every year you like to sprinkle in Burrow to win MVP. If you think they're going to have a really good season, have it, make it to the Super Bowl and stuff, and you bet on him to win MVP, don't just do that. Double it up and bet for him to win freaking comeback player of the year. Because if he wins MVP, there's no way in hell he don't get it. Comeback player.
Well, yeah. I tried to look. I wanted one where you could bet like the NFC champ, the AFC champ, and the Super Bowl. I wanted a parlay where I could bet all three of those games.
Yeah.
But you can't. I looked around on the different ones I have because I wanted to bet. Because you already know the teams I think is going to the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
Bengals and Dallas, and then Bengals
and
win.
Cowboys.
I mean, a lot of people don't. I don't know why. I would, if I was going to sit here and think of a team for the NFC, I'd probably go with Detroit or San Francisco. But I don't know. I just had this vision. I thought that I read it. I thought that I read it somewhere or something, but nobody else saw it. So maybe I just had this dream of Dallas and Cincinnati, and then Cincinnati winning.
I had a dream.
And plus, I got a fucking magic 8-ball right here.
Where does it say, Chop?
What's the question?
I don't know. Will we win? Will the Bengals win
play
the
the
Super Bowl?
Cowboys?
Man,
in the
I ain't
Super Bowl
asking the
this
magic
year?
8-ball that. That's off limits, man. I don't fucking ask the magic 8-ball shit like that.
Will Greg ever pay Pork Chop his chopped cheese sandwich?
Well, that's a good one. Let's see here. This motherfucker's a liar because it says most likely.
It's reliable.
I doubt that.
It's reliable, bro.
I mean, goddamn, Greg. I have to go back and see when that Ted
It's
Carey-
not a year. It was August 23rd. No, I remember. It was like August 23rd or something.
August 23rd. All right. I bet you. Will Greg pay me before the year is up? Oh, most likely again. This motherfucker must be stuck.
Hey, man, hey.
Oh, it says you may rely on it. You're going to. Well, you better make that trip soon then because that date's coming up.
Yeah.
Yep.
What else we got, man? Oh, look at this. Look at this fucking guy.
What are you doing? Oh, my God, Kieran.
The store must be slow. What's up, fuckers?
What's up,
Better than
Kieran?
Wankers. America's team versus the Cowboys. The NFL's most hated team versus the Cowboys.
No, that's accurate.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we're talking about when we're talking about that Logan Wilson holding call and everything else. And when we're talking about when we're just talking about that hit on Giovanni Bernard, clearly that was not legal
Helmet
hit.
to helmet.
I mean, come on. Yes. Cleaned his clock. Fuck Mike Mitchell. I hate that bastard. I hated
In
his
college football, if that happens, you're suspended for like 2 games.
Right.
Fuck the Steelers.
Yep.
Yep.
Fuck them all. Well, I got nothing else.
Anyway.
What about you?
How did Hobby?
Oh no, Hobson was great, man. I mean, he, like I say, I guess the thing that I got out most, I asked about the both rookies, Jenkins and McKinley Jackson, and I guess we all know that Jenkins was going to get a lot of playing time, but Jackson was the one I was really more curious about. He says he thinks they're both going to get a lot of playing time. I mean, there's 2 starters will be Rankins and Hill, but he says they're both going to get playing time. Like I say, Jenkins, I could see getting a ton, obviously.
Yes.
But Jackson was the one I just didn't know if they would plug in too much. But I guess considering the fact he's our only nose tackle, it'll be interesting to see when he gets in.
I really think Jenkins is going to play a lot, especially with Reader gone.
What's that there?
I think McKinley Jackson will kind of play that Tupou role.
Yeah, I could see that.
I could see him getting kind of the same snap percentage that Tupou had.
Right.
Maybe a little bit less because you got Jenkins in there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see. Like, there's a lot of different stuff going on with this team right now, and I'm excited for all of it.
No, absolutely. One thing that I didn't agree with what Hobson said, obviously with DJ Turner and Dax Hill, I understand it's like because both CTB and DJ Turner were both second-round picks. Dax Hill was the first. Derek, I know you're a big Dax Hill guy. I'm not coming at him or anything, but I still think they need to go out and get a veteran corner. Just as
I don't think it has to be a starter.
Doesn't have to be a starter, but as a depth.
Veteran presence in the cornerback room.
Right.
I hear what you're saying.
Give me Eli Apple. But Eli Apple.
Do you want – I mean, look, I'm not against Eli Apple, but if you're talking about a veteran leader, is that the person you're talking about?
But all right,
Eli Apple is not
Gilmore's
the
going to be
leader.
commanding a lot of money. Xavier Howard is coming off an Achilles injury. I'm just saying,
like, if you want, like, at this point, we don't want a veteran for a starter. We want a veteran that's going to mentor these guys, young guys. And
I would
Eli
love
Apple is not a mentor.
I would love Stephon Gilmore, but he's going to be commanding money, and Bengals are not going to pay him that. They're just not.
I'm not against Eli Apple playing for Cincinnati. I'm just saying, like, if you're bringing in a veteran corner for a mentor role, Eli Apple ain't the guy.
Well, they may not look at it as a mentor role, a guy they know that can fit their system, and that's what Apple can do.
But that's what we're saying is a veteron guy to mentor these guys.
Well, I don't know. What's your take on this?
I think they'll be all right.
The problem is Dax just keeps changing position after position. I'm just sorry, man. I am nervous with the fact. I'm not saying he can't do it, but I'm just saying you're starting. This is his 3rd year in a row. He started at a new position. And they say it's very hard to do, especially now you're going from safety to outside corner. I mean, that's not an easy process. Now, I remember reading about him in the draft. They said he is so fast that he could play outside corner. I agree with that, but that's still a huge adjustment.
Don't worry about it, Greg. Ken Riley wasn't a safety. He was a quarterback. And look what happened to him. He's in the goddamn Hall of Fame now. Geoff Hobson was wearing his hat. It'll be fine.
I know.
Like Hobson was saying, man, there was flashes at corner that rookie season when they were kind of going back and forth before they dedicated him to safety. He flashed elite moves on corner, so that's what they're going with. I trust Lou.
I know. I'm probably the only guy that's really like high on Dax, but I'm just excited to see what Lou's going to cook up this year.
No, I'm excited too. It's not. I'm not saying trying to be negative towards Dax or anything. It's just that's just a lot to ask for. Him moving to corner. I like I say, maybe not even like for a veteran, not even like for a veteran leader. Just it's more of a depth piece, if anything.
I think it's interesting that you got the 2 Michigan guys
drafted. Oh
yeah, and played together, and now they're playing. They're competing.
Yeah.
DJ Turner's still the starter, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think so too.
But it was interesting that when I was asking about Josh Newton, that Hobbs was talking about how he's good inside and outside. So I was thinking, like, who's our new slot corner? Like, if I don't want him to let Mike go, but when we eventually part ways with Mike, who's going to be filling that role? So it's nice to hear that Josh Newton's doing good on the inside too.
Probably Dax wouldn't. I don't know, man.
I mean, if Josh Newton's coming up and playing good, I mean, let's just say that Dax does good. Then our cornerback room is Cam Taylor-Britt, DJ Turner, Dax Hill, Josh Newton, and DJ Ivey looked really good at the end of before he got hurt too.
So the problem with Newton was he just didn't have the speed, but he's a great he's a motivator. He plays hard. He tries hard. The only knock with him coming in the draft was that he didn't run a fast 40, and usually the Bengals like guys with speed, but they see a lot in Josh Newton right now.
T. Higgins didn't run a fast 40 either, you know. Grad score was terrible. So it just depends. Like this guy, Josh Newton, I'm not a draft guy, but I thought I read somewhere that like had Josh Newton come out a year earlier, he would have been first round talent.
Yeah.
He just, the last year he had a down year at TCU.
Yeah.
But he was first round talent the year before. Is that Derek? You follow that more than I do. What would you say?
Yeah, I think I remember Dale and I talking about that in the pre-draft process. It might, if you look it up in the, if you look up Newton in his the Project Game Day draft guide, he might have had something on there for him on that.
Right. Yeah, no, just to wait and see. Look, if they don't go out and get another corner, I trust Lou. I trust what they're doing. You know.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying though, like. And, you know, like with the running back, same deal with the running back position. If Cedric Pirine, if he gets cut by the Broncos, I will be at that airport waiting to pick him up.
Who's Cedric Pirine?
Oh, God. Samaje Pirine. I was thinking of Cedric Pierman for
Samaje. You know Samaje.
Samaje. Oh, God.
Man, I got to say, though, like, with Dax, when I look at this, like from a fantasy football perspective, I feel like Dax Hill is going to be the last guy. Like I'm going to die on the hill on that one.
Right? Yes, I know.
He's my who is that running back for the Rams that just completely fell off a cliff?
Gurley,
Todd Gurley. Yeah, I held on for him for like 2 years thinking he would bounce back.
Dude, if Dax Hill doesn't do good this year, then I don't even know what his market is. Like, even if when he goes and tests free agency or whatever, what is Dax Hill's market?
What, Derek, in fairness to Dax Hill, some people already call him a bust. I disagree with that. I don't think he's a bust. He's just been in bad situations. You know, when you're told to play 3 different positions in 3 years, I don't care how good, that's a hard thing to do. I mean, I'm not ready to call him a bust yet. I still think
it's the same. It's the same for a quarterback. Like, when a quarterback comes in and he's got like 3 different offensive coordinators year after year after year, it's really hard for you to get a hold of things. And there's some players. I mean, look at oh shit, what's his name? The dude from Oklahoma went to the Browns.
Baker,
yeah. Look at Baker. I mean, he played like 4 different offensive coordinators for the Browns for 4 seasons, and then went on, and he's finally made a home there in Tampa, and he's looking pretty solid now.
Well, Baker, another thing with Baker, I kind of thought, since you brought up Baker had some maturing to do because they said he was still risky coming out of college, and he had a lot of maturing to do. And because remember, he kept responding to the media. Remember, he even responded to a Bengals fan. Hey, come say it to my face. If you notice with him, especially after leaving Cleveland, he has matured so much, and he is, and I am so, and like I used to anybody that plays for the Browns, I get annoyed by, but I just couldn't stand him for the longest time and all those commercials. But I'm so happy to see him doing so well now with Tampa Bay.
Not me. I still hate his guts.
Actually, I could give a fuck about Baker Mayfield.
But yeah, all right.
I don't
you
know. I could give a fuck about any quarterback besides.
No, that was what he did. I was so happy when Bosa repaid him the favor. That was one of the best games I ever watched. And he's like, I guess he never got over it and all that and stuff. Like, he was just like talking. I'm like, dude, just stop responding like that. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
It's just, but like I say, he doesn't play for the Browns anymore. So, but don't get it wrong. I'd love to have Myles Garrett on the Bengals. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah.
That would be something.
Yeah.
If he wants to play for a winning team.
Yep.
Let's go.
You don't have to change your license plate. You just got to go down to Cincinnati.
Yep. There you go. You probably already got Ohio plates.
All right. Well, I got to I'm getting ready to pull into the babysitter's house. You guys, what we got going on Friday?
Friday, like I say, I don't know yet. We don't know. Like I say, I got the magic hat has been working for me. It's kind of slowed down a little bit, but I still got something I think I can yank out of the hat. Just got to wait and see. But I'm very
on Friday, Greg's going to be yanking it.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm hopeful something will be worked out. We don't know yet, but I'm hopeful. I'm kind of somewhat hopeful something will get worked out. But in the future, I do have a couple potential guests in the future who are on vacation right now. We'll get to that when the time comes. But hey, you never know it. Yep, wait, I will yank it.
That's right. Hey, Greg, speaking of yanking it, what's the update on your dick?
I don't know.
Your dick. I thought you're getting a new dick.
My dick.
Oh, whatever.
It still hasn't gotten fixed yet. My guy's been
God.
So if you come to my front porch, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, nobody go to Greg's front porch.
Have you ever seen the episode in the best Christmas movie of all time, Home Alone 2, where he opens the apartment door and he falls straight to the ground? That's what's going to happen to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greg, did you manscape your dick?
No.
He has no dick right now out front.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
No, it's getting repaired.
Right. Yeah. All right, fellas, let's end it. I'm going to push the button. All right. Appreciate all the Brew Crew joining us today. Thank you. And if you don't mind, hit like and subscribe. We certainly wouldn't hate you for doing it. And that's all I got to say. And now I'm hitting end. And any minute it'll end. Hoo day.